to the masjid, to the mosque. So instead of sometimes, many masjid that I have been to, they passively wait for the school to contact us. So instead of passively waiting, writing formal letters and mailing them out, or the postcards, that these services are available on behalf of the masjid for the schools and the colleges. So in that way, so for us to accomplish it, we need to have speakers. So Mr. Toastmaster, no. So it's important for all of us that more of us, many of us, we need to become speakers. How many of you, with the raise of hand, heard about Toastmasters? Okay, mashallah. How many of you right now are part of Toastmasters? Oh, please. Nobody? Not even you, Brother Farhan? So my recommendation, my encouragement, my challenge to every single one of you, become part of Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a club that helps people, you and me, to become better communicators. I hope you felt that, those who raised your hand. Right? How long have you went there? A few months, a few years?
Probably 5 months I was there. Yeah.
Okay. We have a message. For us to deliver the message to the recipients, we have to be the best messengers of that message. So it's not enough for us just to be a normal, everyday Muslim. The message is so humongous. It's, it is so priceless. So the recipients also we have to make sure that the salespeople of that message have to be equally qualified. So for that reason, it's important for us to have good communication skills. What to say, what not to say. When to say it, how to be good listeners. How to package the message. So what not to say is equally important as what we say. Agree? About 2 years ago, I was in New York for a Jummah khutbah. There is a big masjid, GLIC. So after the Jummah khutbah, after the prayer, as I was going out towards the car of my host, we were walking there on the sidewalk. We saw a non-Muslim lady just walking close to us. And she stopped and she said, I was in the mosque, I listened to your Friday sermon. I have a few questions. So the masjid was there, we were on the sidewalk, and some other Muslims just started to just listen. They came close to us just to listen to the conversation, the Q&A session on the sidewalk in front of the masjid. So alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided that lady, and she said, I'm ready to embrace Islam. But before she proclaimed La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, one of the Muslim brothers, he interrupted her and he said that be careful, if you're going to embrace Islam, you cannot leave Islam, because if you leave Islam, this will happen. Can you imagine that? It was shocking. We were all shocked. Brother, what are you saying? This is not the time. Wisdom, right? So it's important for us, communication skills, what to say, what not to say, when to say. So how do we package the message is equally important. So I would recommend and challenge every single one of you, as I have done 2 or 3 years ago. So becoming speakers. Okay, fine, those are the schools and the colleges. How about, there are so many churches. There are close to 100,000, like 98,000 plus churches in the USA. And if you Google around Omaha, around this masjid, 10-mile radius, I bet there may be 10, 20, 15 churches. So if we have good relations with them, we can send letters, meet with them, and who knows, they may also need speakers. The topics doesn't always have to be what is essential, it can be commonalities. It can be Mary and Jesus in the Quran. Commonalities between Islam and Christianity. It can be an approach that we can take that they can be comfortable with, and using that excuse, inshallah, in a subtle way, direct way, we can introduce the message. Another form of dawah in the neighborhood would be that there are many, not many perhaps, police station and fire station. Giving them gifts during the Ramadan time, during the Hajj time, other time, just to appreciate the services that they are giving to us. So in that way, inshallah, who knows, their hearts and minds will be open. Coming to the schools and colleges, in the open house today, there was a Muslim sister who asked this question, that in the schools, they have all of these celebrations that they celebrate, perhaps Valentine's Day and the Halloween, and maybe Christmas parties or so. How do we protect our children? What do we do? So what we have done on behalf of Gain Peace, and we can send the booklet, we made a booklet. It is called the Teacher's Resource Guide for Public Schools. We have taken scenario by scenario, like for the Muslim children who are going to the public schools, like for example, for the girls wearing the hijab, that why she's wearing the hijab, why the school should allow, and what they should know. So if there is a situation, the recommendation is there for the schools. Co-ed swimming classes, dancing classes, music classes. The parents may not know that it is the right of the parents to be excused from those classes. But you may not know that how to compose a letter. You may not know that this right exists. So what we have done is, we have taken scenario by scenario and we have composed a booklet. And that booklet we have distributed, Sheikh, to every single district in Illinois. Not just in Chicago, all of Illinois, by the way. So that is one of the projects that you can do to the neighborhood schools where your children go. That you can approach the teacher. And this is a good education for them. They will inshallah appreciate this. With the teachers, what else that we have done in Chicago and different places? We have invited the teachers in the masjid and we have done a Teachers Appreciation Day. Just socializing, giving them gifts, giving them prizes perhaps, and then having a really casual Q&A session. They may ask more questions of some of the challenges that they may be having with the children, or they want to know something about the Muslim culture. So it's one more platform, one more event that we can use with the excuse of sharing them with the message of Islam. What are some other ways that we can do? So let me ask you this, besides what I have mentioned, what else that you have done in the neighborhood or in the neighborhood schools, colleges, synagogues, churches? You have the prison dawah, mashallah, our sheikh is involved with that. In the neighborhood, I hope there is no neighborhood prison around you, right? I hope it's far away, but it's one of the obligations. They are human beings who are incarcerated. It's our obligation to at least reach out to them and give them the opportunity to educate about Islam. So what I would do is, let me end with this, inshallah. And during dinner time, we can always have any questions and whatnot. Let me end with this story. This story has to do with Jehovah's Witnesses. And this is a true story. So one day, there was a knock at the door on the Muslim family's home. And the Muslim family, as they opened the door, they found two people standing there. This was Saturday morning. And those two individuals, they identified themselves as Jehovah's Witnesses. They had the Awake magazine and they have some other magazine and they passed it on. And this Muslim brother, he became really excited that now is my opportunity to share with them the message of Islam. So lo and behold, what happened was that, alhamdulillah, the conversation got started. The brother became really emotional and excited. The whole family was watching, those people were there. So they had a really good discussion about the concept of God, Bible and the Quran, who was Jesus in the Bible compared to Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, in the Quran, concept of salvation. Half an hour to 1 hour passed by. In their discussion, after the end of the discussion or towards the end of the discussion, listen to this. The Jehovah's Witnesses asked a question or made a comment to the Muslim man. And the Muslim man was utterly speechless. He cannot say anything, no response from the Muslim man. He was defeated. But you may be thinking, what question can that be? What comment was that made the whole family, not just the man, all the Muslims in the household, utterly speechless? They cannot even answer that. If I were that person, I would not even be able to answer, not even come close to answer it. So you may be wondering, what is that question? This is the question, or this is the remark that they made. So the Jehovah's Witnesses